Golden State Warriors looked awesome. Moses Moody is off the injured list. How good they going to look tonight against the Portland Trail Blazers? It's a pregame show, live edition. Welcome in. This is Locked On Warriors.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast.
What are they going to say now?
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to the Locked On Warriors, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. My name's Charlie Walter, host of the show. Comes at you Monday through Friday. We go live. We don't go live. Content throughout the day. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. Find me, Charlie Walter. Mike Loginoff joins the program today on YouTube. Thanks for joining us wherever you get your audio podcasts as well. We are hours ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers game. On the agenda today, little emergency show, because Moses Moody will be back, it sounds like, for the Golden State Warriors, officially off the injury report. What does his addition mean to Golden State? We're going to give out some player grades. I have access to some very deep analytical coach and scouting sites. And I kind of want to give you what it's saying about some of the players' performances and whether you agree or not. And then we're going to get into the Portland Trail Blazers game, who are dealing with quite a bit, to say the least. Anyways, Mike, how we feeling? Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday, Chuck. The Dubs are 2-0, trying to get to 3-0. Let's see if they can get the job done on their the first of their many back-to-backs this season.
It is a great day to be great, and the fact that Paul's coming in with, I think Golden State can stay healthy. I think if they stay healthy, they'll win the championship. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of my skis, but I will say that I picked this team to finish 6th in the official preseason poll 4 days ago. I think they finished 2nd. That's how quickly things change. And a reason I'm feeling very good is because we've already seen a pretty good Golden State Warriors squad, to say the least. And we haven't even seen Moses Moody yet, who in preseason game number 1 against the Lakers, we were wondering if this was his big breakout year. He was crashing. He was, as soon as he got the ball, he was decisive, whether he's swinging it, whether he's driving, pulling up, he was making the right moves. It's 5th year Moses Moody. We've seen 5th year Jonathan Kuminga really step up already. We're feeling good. Moses Moody playing tonight against the Blazers. How do you feel about this addition as a whole? You can't not love it.
I mean, it's just adding more irons in the fire for the Warriors to utilize. I mean, I think Moody, as we saw in the preseason, he's improved his jumper. He's sped it up too, which is fantastic. And then also his ability to have another point of attack defender out there with his length and his ability to play on the perimeter. It just increases the Warriors' depth and makes us stronger as a team on the whole. I think we can expect him to get some good minutes tonight. I think, we'll be able to have more rotations at with the guards and our wings, and seeing Moody being able to just step in there. If Steph needs an extra breather, if Jimmy, who's been playing a lot of minutes, needs some extra wind, then you can not only rely on Kuminga and Pods, but then you can slot in Moody as well. You're not giving up size like you are with GP2. So I think it just adds, it's another tool in Coach Kerr's toolbox.
That's what's very interesting, because Coach Kerr has always been very small ball focused for the most part. I mean, going back to the death lineup, because they've been able to do that. And now they have the ability to have their small ball type dude in Steph Curry, while also surrounding him around some bigger players that can help you stretch the floor, a la Al Horford. And then, Moses Moody, someone that is, I guess, he's bigger for the Warriors, right? He's a normal sized wing for the most part.
He's a power forward for the Warriors.
He's whatever you want him to be at this point, but he's someone that allows you to play a little bit bigger than Podziemski. And look, I've been all on board with Team Podziemski, and I still think he's got a plenty bright future, but this is a meritocracy. And I was going through some of the numbers on the website Synergy, the advanced analytics, and some of the things that I found were interesting. Pods has been both below average offensively and defensively. Jimmy's been very good offensively, but below average defensively per the metrics. Al Horford's been very good defensively. Curry, poor defensively, excellent everywhere else. Buddy defensively has actually been average. Gary Payton's been below average offensively and defensively. So if you're looking at metrics, there's someone whose minutes could be somewhat in trouble. And and ironically, JK has been below an average defender, and he's been just average in transition, but excellent in the half court, which is, I guess, what you like to see, because he's going to be pretty good in transition for the most part. And him doing as well as he has excellent in the half court, that's a good thing.
I mean, if we want to, we can go to JK. We can go to that topic if we want, Chuck. I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal to start this season.
Let's do it, Mike, because let's do it because
over the course of
there's been some discourse on this program from time to time with some of the faithful that hops into the comments calling you Mike Kerr because you've defended Coach Kerr instead of Kuminga at times. But we've said it many times, and I have the clip it to prove it. You've said that he could be a future all-star. I just don't think it's going to be here. I know it's just 2 games and some preseason contests, but have you seen enough from him to where if this is who he is consistently, you'd say, I want him here long-term?
100%. I mean, he is doing all of the things that I have harped on all offseason and all last season, all the things that I was saying, these are the areas where JK can excel and how he can carve out a role. All those things that I've been harping on, he is now doing, and we see how much it helps the team. His usage rate, I could, correct me if I'm wrong here, Chuck, or if someone in the comments or, in the chat wants to correct me. His usage rate is actually down to 17%, which is indicative of him letting the game come to him. He's waiting for the plays to develop. Even that little cut from Draymond last night and that easy layup, he doesn't make that play last season. He sees Jamal Murray, and he goes, oh, green light, I have an advantage, I'm attacking. Then he ends up probably driving or spinning into a double team and putting up a tough shot and hopefully getting to the line. This year, he waits, he's patient, finds a cutter. He's playing defense, he's challenging Luka. All you can do against a guy like Luka is make things difficult and try to make his life uncomfortable. But ultimately, Luka is one of the best players in the NBA. And you could make an argument, him, Jokic, maybe the 2 best offensive players in the NBA with their ability to potentially put up a triple-double every night. I mean, Aaron Gordon after last night might have his he might have his claim to fame for being one of the best offensive players in the NBA after putting up a 50-burger. And the funny thing is that yours truly right here, Chuck, used to guard that man back in the day. So that gives you some reference to that Mitty.
A little Mitty Ignatius battle?
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, you know it. So I'll let everyone in the chat surmise how that matchup was.
That's what we're changing. We're changing the chat to the Chuck. Hop in the Chuck.
Terrible matchup for AG. Let me tell you, a mismatch in the post. All 6'1", 6'2" of me. But jokes aside, JK's looked phenomenal. He really has, and I will. Like I said, over the course of the summer, this is what we want him to do. We want him to succeed. If we have an engaged Kuminga, this team is going to be so much better. He brings athleticism. He brings rim pressure with cutting and his ability to finish. He brings speed in transition. He brings incredible athleticism and an ability to rebound. And all those things that we've talked about, those are the little things. Those are the choices. It's mental. And he has proven a commitment mentally to make winning plays. And that's why last night he played 36 minutes. That's why you can call me Mike Kerr. Because if he plays like that, play him 48. Let him run out there. I think it's wonderful.
I want to get into, it's interesting you brought that up because I want to get into, obviously Jimmy Butler has a little bit of a role to play in this with his words about how he sees the game and what JK needs to do. JK's camp obviously has a lot to do with this. I mean, that's a summer where they put their heads down and clearly went to work and blocked out the outside noise that was very loud all season long. And I think Steve Kerr gets a little bit of credit as well because at the end of the day, he didn't, feel pressured to play him last year when it was a very unpopular opinion, and say whatever you want. I mean, it may have taught somewhat of a lesson. I want to get into that, some more player grades, and the Blazers coming up Friday night. That's what's ahead on Locked On Dubs.
And most importantly, he a dog.
We need more dogs.
All right, today's episode is brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on the game every day. Every day, locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again, channel that drive into money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood Strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. It's your money, your move. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at DoorDash. I've always been a big DoorDash guy. Mike's always been a big DoorDash guy, no doubt about it. And some of the things you like is the NBA season's heating up, and DoorDash has a great way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating something called the Bag Drop. We like the Bag Drop. What it is, every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. Think about it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 55. Aaron Gordon, 50. Get around to it. Next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 to get 50% off DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to $10 the next day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. It ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash, it's in your bag all season long.
Forget that. We champs. Why are you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
All right, Mike. So if this is who Jonathan Kuminga is all season, and he's someone that can dish out 4 or 5 assists in a given game and grab 6, 7 rebounds and be highly efficient and be someone that Curry looks to at the end of the game and says, no, we want him on the floor. We don't want Guy Santos anymore. That was a one-off. Jonathan Kuminga is big, he's fast, and now he's very much a important cog to the offense. If that is the case, how much of it would you give credit to his camp and himself, obviously, which has to be at least 75% of the credit, and then to Jimmy Butler and Steve Kerr in this situation?
I mean, I think all the credit goes to Jonathan. I don't think we necessarily need to bring his camp into it, because I think it's Jonathan making that conscious decision to lock in and to play the way that the vets and the coaching staff and management has been asking of him, and he's doing it, right? That's his choice. And I think really, if anything, you want to give some credit to Jimmy by potentially being able to get through to him, right? Because Jimmy wasn't necessarily a stud when he first started off his career, right? He had to ascend. And if you look at an archetype of player of who Jimmy is, right? Even, one of the things that Jimmy does great is he seals very early in possessions. And what we mean by seal is he'll see there could be a mismatch on a break or a secondary break, and he goes down and he'll seal a guard underneath the hoop. And that's when Draymond or someone will throw up that high pass, will high point it, and he'll get a layup or get to the line. And so that's easy ways that Jimmy gets buckets. You can see Kuminga doing that as well. You can see Kuminga attacking athletically to the rim, just like Jimmy did back in, a few years back. And so Jimmy's probably taking him under his wing a little bit and saying, look, this is how you can impact the game. The way that you can impact the game now is the way that I had to impact the game when I was in your shoes. And trust me, yes, you can still ascend at this league, but if you play the right way, that's how you're going to get more and more opportunities. And as you're on the floor more often, then you're going to have the chance to attack in space, attack closeouts, and go out there and get your buckets.
Yeah, and I mean, the funny thing is Steve Kerr has mentioned the name Aaron Gordon many times as a player.
I've mentioned the name Aaron Gordon as well, beyond our matchups in the WCAL, Chuck.
And Sean Marion, too. And those are two dudes that, like, some people scoffed, especially Aaron Gordon. They're just kind of like, he's not Aaron Gordon. He's better than Aaron Gordon. The dude just went for 50. Like he's waited for his moments, and he's picked his spots, but he just went for 50. This is a very important question on the screen that I think brings up very healthy debate. that I want to talk about from Food Fight with a PH. What about Kerr finally doing what we've been asking, actually playing JK? It's a two-way street. That's where I just make the argument, like, it doesn't matter how much he plays last year. He doesn't fix this overnight. Like, this wasn't something that was going to happen in the playoffs. Like, he wasn't playing this way. He was, now, against Minnesota, he realistically played the only way he could. I mean, he was one of the only dudes on the floor that could go out there and get a bucket. Like, that's kind of what you needed. But he wasn't playing this way against Houston. He wasn't playing this way late in the season. Like, he just, and it's little things. It's the play that you mentioned where, you know, he's backing down and instead of even picking up his dribble, he just has options. He waits for the play to develop, and here comes Draymond trudging down the lane. Easy pass. Like, it's sometimes the simple things that you as a viewer don't necessarily see until you see it, but it's clearly a different player.
And what have we talked about too, right, Chuck, of even not just cutting from the short corner on the tic-tac-toe, as Bob loves to say on air, but it's also slipping screens, right? When Steph gets doubled or Buddy's coming off, slip the screen, get the easy layup, run in transition, get the easy layup, right? I mean, even if you look at the, I think it was overtime last night, when Steph kind of tips that pass, JK's there because he's engaged defensively. He gets it. He gets downhill, scores on the Euro step over Jamal, right? And he's putting himself in positions to succeed by doing the little things. And if he keeps on doing that, he's going to get more minutes. People can say it's chicken and egg, but I 100% agree with you. It's not chicken and egg. Kerr had given him chances, and Jonathan was proving an inability to play the way that Steve was asking him. When he plays the way that Steve wants him to play and that the system is built, and how the system is built and how to get on the floor in that system, he plays 36 minutes. I mean, it's remarkable. And if he keeps doing that, it's going to help the Warriors a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes in that regard, because he's hit these moments before where he's kind of fallen back into the good graces, and it's not that consistent, but it looks different this time around. And if so, let's say this marriage is somehow saved, even though we've all assumed that a trade's coming at the deadline. It's all been stated. The Warriors now say, no, we're going to keep Kuminga. He's going to be on this contract that we may wiggle some more money in there next offseason, and he'll be under this contract with Jimmy, with Draymond, with Steph. And then maybe he's paid like a big part of the future because we like what he brings to the franchise, and he becomes this very good player. I think you do have to give a little bit of credit to a Hall of Fame head coach and Steve Kerr that basically was like, no, you're not going to play until you play this way, because this is who you are. This is who you should be. This is the best version of you. Whether it says it in the stat sheet or not, this is the best version of you. It's the winning player.
100%. And I mean, also too, you can even, let's juxtapose and we can do a little bit of grading here, but Will Richard he's getting an A out of me so far this season. But you look at the way that Will plays and what I talked about over the summer when we, gave a little bit of a scout on what we can expect: winning player, championship mentality, whether that's helping on defense from the weak side, whether that's cutting to make a layup, whether that's seeing the cutter to make a layup, whether that's playing in locked in and engaged defense, helping on the boards, right? I mean, Will, you can see, has that mentality already, right? And he's willing to buy into it.
Did you see the practice video of Kerr talking to Butler and saying, like, I love this guy. He knows how to play. Yeah.
No, exactly. And I mean, it's encouraging to see Will just buy in immediately, right? And I think JK realistically has, probably a higher ceiling than Will. I think Will's going to be in this league for a very long time and be a great, reliable role player. Part of me looking at Will's build, and the chat tear me apart if you disagree, Chuck, you as well. But the chat loves to tear me apart. So if they really want to get in, here's some meat that you can bite off. But maybe seeing him as because he's kind of a stockier wing, maybe a little bit of a Lou Dort. And getting in there, a little POA for Will Richard, because he's actually taller than Dort. And, if he continues on this track of being engaged and affecting the game in that way, I mean, that would be a wonderful ceiling for Will. He'll be in the league for a very long time. But Jonathan is doing those little things. Will gets an A+. Jonathan gets an A+. I'm all for grade inflation today, Chuck. Let's go through it.
Real quick, I got to say, I was pulling some Panini Prism Blacks the other day and pulled an Amir Coffee autograph card. I don't know what to do with it, but I know you're a big coffee guy. If you have anything you want to send my way for it, I'll ship it.
I love me some Amir coffee. I would love to be enjoying a glass of Amir coffee right now, giving out grades. But hey, I'm satiated with a little bit of Will Richard and consistent Kuminga. That's what we'll call him, consistent Kuminga.
No fingernails, man. No PSA 8s over here in this household. Let's continue in the program. We're talking Trailblazers, the matchup. It's coming up here soon. If you're listening to this show later on after the game ends or whatever, this is a great way to hear takes that may be off, they may be on. It's awesome. It's Locked On Warriors live pregame. All right, today's episode is brought to you by America's #1 sportsbook. That is FanDuel. Now is a great time to get in on the action with all the good sports going on at once. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. If you win, that's right, pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. Parlays, live lines, spreads. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and to get started. The Warriors 3.5-point favorites over the Trailblazers on the road tonight. Also, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Rugient. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rugient comes in. Rugient.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Makes it easy to get started. You connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, private shipment discreetly to your door. It's fast, it's simple, it's private, it's handled by real doctors. So visit Rugient.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. Rugient is RUGIENT.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget our code LockedOnNBA so they know we sent you. It's Rugient. Stop making excuses. Start making moves. RUGIET.com/LockedOnNBA. Rugient.
And most importantly, he a dog.
We need more dogs.
All right, let's get to the matchup. Portland Trailblazers without a head coach. Chauncey Billups involved in quite the scandal, to say the least. So assistant will take over, and they'll run their 0-1 squad that lost by 4 points to the Wolves against the Warriors tonight. No Scoot Henderson, I believe. I don't know who else is off that depth chart, but we'll say that having Jeremy Grant as like their sixth man instead of their third scorer has been beneficial. Avdia, you can turn him over a lot, but he's someone that can really beat you on both sides of the ball. And then Shaedon Sharpe, he's one of the rising stars in the NBA. He's the guy to watch out for. The bigs, obviously, with no Al Horford, Hansen, and Klingon, two massive human beings that Quentin Post and Trace Jackson Davis likely will have a big role in stopping.
100%, Chuck. I mean, I think the other individual that will be very interesting to watch tonight from the Portland side of things is Tamani Kamara, and watching him.
He's good.
He's a great defender. He's all defensive guy. I mean, he's going to be all up in Steph all night long. That's for sure. They're probably going to then throw Drew Holiday at Steph as well. I mean, the poor guy's going to be running around for his life trying to get some shots off, but hey, it worked out last night. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think tonight, like you said, Al's definitely going to get, his rest on the second half of a back-to-back. And what had surprised me with the addition of Moody coming back, we'll probably see Jimmy's minutes go down a little bit. I think the Dubs are also going to trot out, like you said, Quentin Post, Trace out there too, to soak up some of those minutes, try and relieve Draymond as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think this team, this Portland team is better than I think people give them credit for. Wouldn't surprise me if they sneak their way into the play-in this year. Portland loves their Blazers too, so they're going to have a big home crowd. Traveling last night after a very intense game will be exhausting. This is kind of a a trap game for the Warriors, I would say. And, if they come out with a loss, it wouldn't surprise me. But if they can eke a win out, that would be fantastic, because this is a team that they should beat, right? Like this is a team that the Warriors should not lose to. And as we talked about it in the offseason of what does the addition of Jimmy mean to the Warriors, it's that floor raising, right, of last season. If the Warriors win that game last night against Denver in OT, they get blown out by 25, 27 points tonight up in Portland. But this season now with the addition of Jimmy, I think that floor raising, that ability to have someone like that, have that second option, and just his focus and his willingness to play the right way is a good thing. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this team is able to kind of continue to play consistency and consistently, I should add. And let's see if we get a little bit of consistent Kuminga tonight.
Yeah, Moses Moody will make his season debut against the Portland Trailblazers. We talked about his impact earlier. Al Horford will be resting with left toe injury management, which is a great way to just say load management. And if he's got a left toe issue, he looked pretty damn good against Jokic, man. That was impressive. Even more impressive, though, the fact that Jokic went for a triple-double and I thought he played bad. After the game, I was like, Jokic took too many threes. Like, the Warriors did a great job on him. And Kolsky's like, he had a triple-double, right? I was like, damn.
Well, that's what also, too, if I can talk about Draymond a little bit in that last possession last night, people talking about, Draymond's washed, don't play him, get rid of him, what's he doing, why is he – all this nonsense. I remember last year you came on, we came on the pod, and it was, I think, the first 10 games ago, all right, Mike, who's your X Factor? Who's your MVP? Who do you want to give some flowers to? And I said Draymond. And last night, the last play of regulation is the reason why Draymond is so important to this team. Who was he guarding originally at the start of that possession? Jamal Murray. Then the Nuggets run that high pick and roll to try and orchestrate a switch and end up, with the mismatch. Draymond switches immediately and goes from on-ball defense to then relocating, bumping Steph off, and then getting on to Jokic and forcing a contest.
The craziest thing is, like, for whatever reason, and it's just because he's a good defender, he doesn't look like it's that strong of a contest. He's there, but like that's a 3-foot floater for Jokic. But we've seen it time and time again. We saw it with Şengün in the playoffs last year. Players don't make those shots against him. Yeah. So at some point you gotta point to it. It's like, it's not all about the blocks or the steals or this. It's just about the pressure that he puts on the person with the ball at all times. And then off the ball, striking fear in the fact that, he's going to make the right play pretty consistently.
100%. And having Al behind him as well, I think probably affected Jokic's calculus, right? Jokic could have taken one more dribble and try to get a little bit deeper, but then having Al there as a backline defender, and sure, he's only, 3 inches or so taller than Draymond, but hey, 6'9" is a lot different than 6'6", because I'll tell you what, being a 6'2", cork is what they would call me in college. If there's a leak in the boat, put Loggy in. And so I'd go 1 to 5, baby. So I'll tell you what, if I was 6'5", that would have looked a little bit different than it did at 6'2".
But welcome to the show. We got Cork from good old San Mateo. Good stuff, Mike. I know you got some plans to get to. This has been an impromptu pregame show. Appreciate it. For those of you on the audio podcast platform, now's a great time to tell you to head over to YouTube. We do live post games after just about every single game. There are games here and there. Tonight may or may not be one of them, but regardless, we'll get content out, whether it's in the form of a YouTube short, TikTok, Instagram, and then always, we don't let 24 hours go by without getting to some form of a show, even on the weekends. So we'll make sure to have your content for you all year long, broken down, try to be as fair and balanced as possible on this program. And this is a great example. For those of you out there that said, Mike Loginoff will never say a nice thing about Kuminga, he's a propagandist. Case in point, Mike says he's been awesome. Mike, you've been awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chuck. It's always a pleasure.
Good stuff. Locked on Warriors, everyone. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Dubs, 3-0 maybe.